Hello everyone, in this particular video we are going to create a to-do application. Now you might be thinking that to-do application is a very simple application, but I'd say that it will just help you to get a great hold on the concepts like use state, use effect, and you'll also able to use higher order functions like map, filter, reduce, and there are more things to it. Like you'll understand how to use this particular things, the react hooks. You might be thinking right now that it's very simple, but when we'll start building, you'll understand that this functionalities that we are going to build in this to do application, you would able to use same functionalities in other applications also. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so please don't ignore this line first. Okay, let's start. So in this video, the first thing that I want to say is that we are not going to follow a proper folder structure, because this is a single unit application, I'd say, because there are not many things into it. So that's why I'm not gonna follow the folder structure. Otherwise, you need to create one component folder and all that. But if you want it, I'll create a separate video of how to create different type of components and then merge them into the single application. But for now, let's start. The first thing that we require is input. Okay, that's it. And we need, okay, so what we will do, we'll just put this inside a div. Okay, and yeah, before starting, one thing, if you are using this code sandbox, I want you to add this particular line into the index.html file, because I've just copied this from tailwindcss because I want the tailwind functionality. That's why I've used this. If you go on tailwindcss, you'll be able to find that. Maybe somewhere in the get started. If you'll go and somewhere over here. So please find it out because it's very easy to do. So now let's start. Okay, input tag. We have taken the input tag, and let's first design that first. And we need to require one button. So this is submit, I would say. Yep. So first thing is the class name is equals to w full. I hope you all know about Tailwind CSS. If you don't know, just follow along with me, and you would be able to understand all things. Width full, w full is width full, then height full, then flex, and first let me give a border to this. So class name equals to border 2 and border black. Okay, that's it. Width full and flex. Just center items center. Let's see where do it goes. Okay, do see this thing. Okay, it's working fine. So now if I'm able to see this thing and I'm able to submit, what I'll do, I'll just give margin top to it, margin top of 10. Okay, that's fine. Now let's try to figure this thing out, how we are going to create this thing. Okay, what we want a to-do application. We want list to be over here, and this is the input tag. Okay, so let's build the first feature. Okay, so let me give it a class name. Class name equals to blue background blue 400, text white, padding 2, great, and padding, I want padding in X to be more than the Y, so I will just do more. This should be Y, and the X should be 5. Great. We want rounded over here, so we want rounded 2xl. That means border radius. So this is 2xl, but we would put it xl. What's MD should be fine. Yeah, it's fine. and that's it. I would say class name, outline, none. Yeah. Whatever the data that we are able to put. Okay. Great. Now it's working fine. And let's just remove this border now. Let me see first. Yeah, it's over here. Border, bottom. Let me check what was the syntax for it. So border, bottom, border, bottom. Okay, it's not over here. We need to check border only. Border. Is it so? Yeah, border T. Okay, yeah. B was there. Correct. So B should be B, not bottom. But we don't want. Okay, we will just remove this because we don't want it. And we'll simply put the border over here. So border 2. And this should be B, bottom. Padding should be 2. Yeah. Both the sides. Yeah. And I hope I'm able to write. Okay. Border black. And I should put it 1, not 2. Maybe it's just looking. Why it's not working? I don't know. Okay, let it be. We will try to fix that afterwards. And let's just give one what do we say, placeholder. We'll write please enter the enter the value. Yeah, great. And submit. We'll try to create. We'll write gap 2 flex. And gap should be 4. I'm not liking this too because it's too much irritating for me. Yeah, now it's working fine. So it's fine now, and let's see what more do we have to build. Now we want a list. Okay, so before that, let's just try to take the value. So I'm gonna use state hook. So const use. So this is gonna be data, set data. This is a naming convention, I would say. So use state. For now, it's nothing is over there. Okay, let me explain this thing to you. So what is data and what is set data? It's a very easy thing. So if you would just go on a documentation, you'll be able to understand. But let me explain you in a quick manner. So data is a variable for now. Let's just think about it, take about it as a variable. And set data is a function which would help us to change this data. Now you might be thinking that why do we need to use state hook instead of that? What if we will use a simple variable? Then I think, my friend, you don't know how React works. So if you don't know, please comment it down. I would try to explain that to you in a separate video. But for now, just take this data as a variable and set data as a function which will help us to change this value of data. Okay, so initially, and here we pass initial value. Okay, let me write that down into the comments. So data is a variable. State. Just take it as variable. It's a state. Okay. Set data is a function which helps us to what do we say, change help us to change the value of data. Then use state hook. So initial state. This is going to be an initial state. Here we will be writing inside this, we will be writing initial state. Okay, so now let's see. So data is there with us. So what we want, once a user submit, we want to see over here, we want to see the data. So let's do that first. So what we will do, we just want value equals to data. Okay, and set data, and we will just one function, we will just try to get one function. So before that, what we will do, we'll just create two things, data, and this is going to be an input val, let's say, and set input val. This is going to be empty string. Okay, so let's take this. So what we will do, value is equals to input val, and set input val is what we have to figure out. So I hope you know about onChange function. So set input value, here we will take e, and we'll do here e dot target dot value. Let's try to write something, and we'll console this thing over here. So let's console this console. We'll use effect for now to see whether it's working or not. So what is console dot log data, sorry, not data, input val, and here we will write down input val. Okay, that's great. Let's just refresh this to see the results. Okay, we are able to see a blank string, but now once we enter things, see, you are able to see this. So task 1, you are able to see this. Okay, that's it. Now what we have to figure this. Now what we have to do, we want the data to be present over here, and we don't want it to be in a single value. Like if I'm writing t, I don't want atomic value, I want a complete value. Like if I'm writing t, I'm getting t, then a. I don't want t and ta should be separate. I want the complete task word should be there. So what I'll do now, I'll use this data use state. Okay, so let's see how we are going to do that. So set data. Okay, I'm gonna pass an empty array over here. So I'm able to see this. Okay, we have to just use the simple thing, that is on submit, or you could say on click. You need to handle submit, create this function. Wait for a minute, I'm creating one function. So what it's gonna be, let me think about that. So const handle submit, it's gonna be an arrow function because we are not taking this. Otherwise we would have used a simple function, because if you want this of a particular object, you need a proper function, like what do we call it, a simple function, and if we don't want it, we use arrow function. Okay, so let's see how we are going to do that. So we would take the set input value over here, whatever is there input value, we just want that. So what we will do, I would just do set data is equals to an array where we will just spread the past values which were there inside the array. We'll create one more thing, that is the object, which would be having ID of let's just put, and with that we need the value. Well, so here it's gonna be our input value. I hope it's making sense to you. Okay, so I feel like that's it, and now we would just write, input value. We don't want that. We want set data. No, we don't want set data. We want over here data, and here it should be data. Let's try to figure out task 1 submit. We are getting an object. Inside that object we should have an ID with a value 1, and yes, that's 1. Okay, that's working fine. Now let's figure out how to provide unique ID to it. I'll explain you why we are using a unique ID instead of using a simple 1 and 2. ID, I think this is the function. I don't exactly remember because it's okay. So let's try to use that. So I have UID. I just import UUID from UID. Do this. Hope it should work. So task 1 and submit. Okay, what happened? Okay, it's not working. Let me find out that UUID. It's not UID. It's UID, I think. Still not working. UID. Okay, it's UI, not UID. Give me 2 minutes. Let me find out that particular syntax of generating a unique ID. Okay, it's React UUID, and then we can use it. Okay. It's React UUID. Okay, got it. So change this to this, and here we will write React okay, so task 1. Yeah, it's giving us this unique ID. So let me explain one thing to you. When we want to delete certain element, we need something unique. Okay, and that is the main reason we are using UUID. Okay, so let's start. Now what we have to do? We simply have to use higher order function, which is named as map. Okay, where we are going to use that. So it's very simple. Let's see how we are going to use that. After this button div, we want to create one more div. Okay, inside this div we will write few things. So we would just do one thing, that is our data. So data should be there, and then I'll dot map, and then I'll just take one lm to write this. Okay, so now what we need, we'll return one div where we will be writing few things, that is simple our lm dot val. Let's see whether it's working or not. Task 1 submit. Okay, let me see. Okay, yeah. See, this is the error that we are getting. Each child in a list should have a unique key. So if you want to read about this basically helps you in deleting the components and updating the components. Okay, and there's a lot more explanation to it. So if you want to read about this, you can go through it. It's a very simple thing. So what we need to do, we just simply need to write this thing, that is key. There's a prop, and here we need to pass lm.id. So I hope now it's gonna work. Task 2 submit. Yeah, it's working fine. Okay, now let's just fix the UI. is the UI KLM.value is working. We have passed on div. So the main div. Okay, so I've given flex item center. Why? Flex item center, it's okay. Flex row or column. Pass this task 1, task 2. It's working fine. We'll just give few things here. That is the border 2, width full. We would just give 3 by 4, which is completely okay. So 3 by 5 is gonna be okay, I think. Yep. So we will just write the border. It's not border, we'll just give margin top should be 10, and I think the padding should be there, padding of 2 pixels, and padding X should be of 5. Okay, it's working fine now. Just remove this line, we don't need it. So it's working kind of fine. Okay, it's empty. I'll just task 1, task 2. Okay, after every task we want a border bottom. Let's just do that. Class name equals to border 2 b2 and empty of 5. Second is the ID. So let's see whether we are able to see the numbers or not. I just want to see them. So task 1, submit. It's task 0. Okay. Task 2, it should be 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's working fine. Okay, it's working fine. I'll just provide this over here, and we want it to be index plus 1 because we don't want 0. That's completely fine for us, and I would say that's the only thing that we want. Okay, now we have to create 2 functionalities, that is the delete and the edit. Okay, so welcome back everyone. So let's start with our application. So I've just done few minor changes into the application, so let me show you that. So here I've added just 2 React icons, and yeah, one if else condition. So that is if data dot length, that means if it's greater than 0, if the data array consists of certain values, so we want to display them, and if nothing is there, we want to display this message, that's less scheduler day. Okay, so these are the only changes that I've done, and if you'll get the code, I'll upload that on the GitHub. Okay, so now let's start with our main functionality. Okay, let me show you the 2 icons. So task 1, and now I'll submit. Yeah, these are the 2 icons. Okay, this is for delete, this is for edit. I'll show you. Now let's just use them. I'll put this inside a span now. Okay, and let's do this for okay. So it's done. Now what I want on-click functionality on this, because we want, whenever we want to delete this, we should just click on this delete and we should be able to delete. That's our main functionality. Let's see that. Okay, I realized one thing, that in the last video I didn't explain this use effect hook, and as there is no need of this hook in this video, so we will not try to go into this hook because it's mostly related to life cycles. We try to replicate the behavior of component did mount, did update, and what's there? Component will unmount. This functionality using use effect. Though there are certain better options that I've introduced now, but in later videos we will see them. Okay. So this is not making any difference. Okay. So I'll just comment this out. I was just using it to check whether the data is working fine or not. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to create one function that is const handle delete. Again over here also we don't need this. We'll just take ID and we'll able to do that. Okay. So let me see where we are clicking. So we want the functionality of click over here. So I'll just do on click and handle delete. That's it. Okay. So what do we have to do? Let's discuss that. So here we said there, okay, it's fine. But when we enter certain data, task 1. So here you are able to see delete. So I just want to delete this. If I want to delete this, I need to filter this out. That means if there is task 2, task 3, and like several other tasks are over here. So if I want to delete this, it just means that we are going to delete this and all others will be still there in our array. Means all other elements, all other tasks are still going to be there. Okay. So we can perform this using filter operation. Let's see how we can perform. Okay. So first I need to take the ID from here. So anonymous function. Here we now we'll add lem.id over here, lem.id. So I've provided the ID over here. Let me see. We'll take the ID over here. Now let's start. First we'll const filtered data equals data dot filter lem int element robh object. What we want to return all of them whose object.id is not equals to our ID. That's it. Now what we will do, we'll do set data filter data. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, it's working fine now. So it's working fine. Let's see. Task 3 we were able to delete this. Okay. Yeah, it's working fine. So welcome back everyone. In this video we are going to create the edit functionality. Okay, so I've created this function const handle edit and I've written it over here. That is, yeah, in the span component of that AI outline edit we have passed the ID of the current element, the node that we want to delete. Okay, so lm.id and let's just go and see. Okay, we are over here. So what we'll do and how we will create this handle edit. So first let's see task 1, task 2, task 3. Okay, there are 2-3 ways to perform it, but what we will do, we will just use this input box to edit. Otherwise we could have used input box over here by changing the span to input. That is also one of the way, but we will perform this using the only input box that we have with us. So let's do that then. So what I want is when I'll click on this edit, I want the value that is present over here should come over here, and then we'll edit that value And once we'll hit submit, we should be able to see the changes. That is the only thing that we want. Now let's try. So handle edit is the function we have. So let me see. We have given the ID to it. So let me write ID over here. First thing, what we want the value over here. This value task1 value should be over here. Okay. So set input value. Something should be there. So let's get const new value is equals to data dot find obj object. So return object dot id is equals to id. What happened? Const. This should be fine. This new value. Okay. So let me refresh. Do this error persist? No, it's not there. Okay. So set input values. Now I have created one hook. We'll be creating one hook, that is this edit and set edit. So I have already created it. So I want you all to do that. Hope you have done that. Okay. So now what we'll do set edit equals to id. Okay, it's done. Okay. What we want? Write 0 over here. So if edit, what does this means? If there is certain value other than 0, because 0 is considered as false. Okay, if you don't know about it, just go in Node.js documentation, there you'll be able to understand. Okay, now what we will do, once we enter into this if, first we'll do console.log whether it's working or not. That is the most important thing to check. Next thing, set, that is okay. So const edited data equals to data dot filter object. So there is one if else condition. So else return object. If it doesn't match, we just want the original object. But if it's matching, if the condition is true, what is the condition? That is object.id should be equals to edit. I think I should like edit id, set edit id. Yeah. So we'll do it like this, id, and here also we'll write id. So this sounds more clearer. Triple equals to should be there. That is what happened? Yeah, edit id. Edit id. This triple equal to, I hope you know about this. This is a strict equality operator, and the one that I was using before is abstract one. There is a difference between both of them. We will discuss that in another video when we'll get time. So now what we have to do, we just simply need to write return object. First we'll spread the object. That is the id value that's present over there. We don't want to change the id. And the next thing is our value should be input. Okay, hope this should work. Now what we will do, we'll just simply do set data equals to edited data and set input value should be blank. So let's see whether it's working or not. Let's see whether it's working or not. Task 1, let's submit this. Task 2, task 3, let's suppose. Okay, this is blank. Okay, let me see what happened over here. Okay, we here need to provide val. This is a string that we were getting object, which is of no use to us. So let's try this. So task 3 to task 5, and let's try to submit. Working is fine. I think we have done one mistake over here. Let me figure that mistake out. So okay, so I figured out where I was going wrong. The only thing that we did wrong over here was the filter method. So we don't need to use this filter function. Actually, I don't know how did I write that, but here we need to use map higher order function where we are not filtering values. Let's see. Task 1, task 12, submit. Yeah, things are working fine. Let's just remove this from here, and this comments also. So let's try to run this application. What happened? It's working fine over here. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Task 1, submit. Task 2, submit. Task 3, submit. Let's see if it is working or not. Task 23, submit. But we have completed this task. We'll delete this, we'll delete this, and will again ask us to let's schedule our day. Okay. There are more functionalities that you can add into this application, like remove all, and you can put a check on input value. You can even do it like this. Let's suppose this is task 1, task 2, and let's suppose I'm writing some random. Let me just copy some text. Lorem. So we'll just copy this text. Let's see what it provides to us. And now if you'll see, so what if if you don't want to show this complete sentence? So for that there is a check. You can use a what is string method is there. What do we call it? Substring method. Yeah, so we can use that substring method over here, and once somebody clicks, you will able to see the complete text. So this is how we are going to be enhancing our application. So I hope I was able to explain you all sort of stuff. So thank you once again, and please don't forget to share, subscribe, and like this video. Thank you.